Hello, everyone, and welcome to Body Bags. I will be your reviewer for today. I am Sinema77, horror and cult film lover, and yeah, today we are going to talk about. This is going to be a little different. Bear with me, but today we're going to talk about Stephen King's Mr. Mercedes. This is season one. Now, this series is based on a trilogy of books that Stephen King had written about a detective named Bill Hodges, who's played by Brendan Gleeson here. And now I know, you might be thinking like, well, detective story and stuff like that. It's like, come on, I mean, Seven was a detective story, and a lot of people consider Seven a horror film. But yeah, this is a 10-part series, and I believe the second season is going now. Um, I don't know if it's only going to run for 3 seasons or if it plans to run longer because there was only 3 books in the Bill Hodges trilogy, and so anyway, so yeah, but now the story starts out. You have a group of people. They're getting together. It's early morning. It's cold. They're going to a job fair and they're waiting for it to open up. You have a lot of people out of work and they're all just wanting to find a job. This young man, he's going there. He wants to apply for a job and he meets this young woman who's got a baby and the baby's crying and everything else and she's doing her best to take care of the baby and like people are making little snide comments to her and everything else. And she's like, I'm so sorry, but I couldn't find anybody. I have no money, I can't afford a babysitter and things like that, so I had to bring her with me. I didn't have a choice, and stuff. And so he puts, he's got a sleeping bag and he unrolls the sleeping bag, lets her and the baby get in so they can stay warm and all this stuff. And so they're waiting for this job fair to open. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they see this big Mercedes, and then the headlights blast on, and this Mercedes just plows into all these people. And this series really does have some, for a detective story and for a TV series, this series really does have some incredibly gruesome moments. Now, I just mentioned the woman with the baby getting into the sleeping bag. It is extremely gory when you see her and the little baby, like she's like trying to get out. She's like, I can't get out, I can't get out. And you see both the woman and the baby crushed by the Mercedes. And you see so many other people, like people getting their legs taken off, people be, just being crushed and knocked all around, blood and gore everywhere and stuff. And then we're introduced to our main character, Bill Hodges. Here he comes in and he tries to want to find the killer and stuff like that. And he ends up dead end. He doesn't find who the killer is. So some time passes and everything, and then we learn that Brady Hartfield here, played by Harry Treadaway, who, on a side note, is very sad, but originally Anton Yelchin was actually going to play the character of Brady Hartfield, and unfortunately, before he was able to shoot any scenes or anything like that, he was killed in a horrible automobile accident. And when he passed away, the role went to Harry Treadaway. And one movie horror fans would definitely recognize him from would be Cockneys versus Zombies, and I know he's definitely done other things too. But anyway, though, some time has passed, and Bill Hodges, he's he's retired now. He's kind of like his life is kind of fallen apart. We learned that we learned that he had a wife, and that didn't work out. He has a daughter. His daughter wants nothing to do with him, and so he just kind of basically he's just hanging around the house, listening to records and stuff like that, and picking on Jerome, the young man here who, hang on, right there, the young man who comes to mow his grass and everything else. And so he starts getting messages from, he calls himself Mr. Mercedes. And he starts sending these really horrible, gruesome messages and showing like pictures of the victims and things like that, taunting him and, basically like, hey, detective, kind of like, you never caught me and, all this other kind of stuff. And, ha ha ha, jokes on you and everything else. And, you're a failure and all this other kind of stuff. And this detective who, I mean, he's literally like almost ready to eat a bullet. He's ready to just end it all. And so he starts kind of becoming curious again. He's like asking questions about the investigation and stuff like that. And then we learn that Brady here, he's very smart. He's very skilled, but he's very demented. And his mother here, played by see if you can see her, Kelly Lynch right there. His mother, he has a sexual fascination with her, and it's there's one part in the first episode where the two of them sit down. He's sitting on the couch, and she's just wearing like I think she wearing like a tank top and a pair of panties, and he just looking at her and everything, and she gives him a really deep, passionate kiss and all this stuff. And so he goes downstairs, and first thing he does, he whacks off to his mother, and then he's turns out he's got like all these other things going on, and he keeps like taunting the detective, and he's planning these other murders and all these other gruesome things going on and stuff. And so what Bill Hodges ends up doing, he's an old guy. He's in his 60s. He's overweight and stuff like that. When I first read the book, I have to admit, I was actually thinking like, a man in his 60s, overweight and stuff. I honestly thought if they were ever going to make this into a movie, that they should get somebody like John Goodman. But Brendan Gleeson, he's perfect. He does a perfect job on this. He's so good at playing Bill Hodges. He's so great at it. Harry Treadaway, it's like, I mean, I hate to sound disrespectful, but as much as I like Anton Yelchin as an actor, I don't know if that part would have been good for him. I mean, I know as an actor you want to play everything, but I really couldn't see him playing like this demented of a character and this kind of a bad guy role. And I mean, I'm not saying he never would have pulled it off, but I'm just saying I don't know if that part would have suited him as much. But yeah, but Harry Treadaway, he gives a beautifully psychotic performance. He's so good in this. And then so he starts trying to investigate and stuff, and he meets this beautiful woman here, played by Mary Louise Parker, who we all right there, right behind him, who we all remember as Nancy on the show Weeds. And they fall in love, and he's still trying to investigate and trying to find out what's going on. And he ends up meeting her cousin Holly here, and it turns out that Holly she's a very, very shy, very scared, very timid, very mousy kind of a character. But now the thing of this is, this show has like so much going for it. If you want, like, okay, say like you're saying, I want a story with a positive African American character in here. You have that with Jerome. Jerome he's a great character. If you want a positive female character, you have Holly. You have Bill Hodges, and that's the thing. Bill Hodges, we find out through the story that there's a lot of information, and he would never get as far without having Jerome and Holly being there to help him out, because they're more. We find out that Brady, he's a computer whiz. He works, basically kind of like at a Best Buy type store where he's, like what they call like, computer geniuses and stuff. They can fix any problem with computers and stuff like that. And it turns out like he's got like an elaborate computer set up in his basement. He's got all these things going on. And it turns out Bill's running into all these problems with computers. He doesn't know what to do. So, Jerome turns out he's very smart, very computer savvy. And Holly, turns out she's very smart and computer savvy and everything. And so Brady, he's like at one point, like he's trying to attempt to kill Jerome's dog, and by poisoning some hamburger meat. And he's almost caught before, but somebody else eats the hamburger meat. I'm not gonna say who, but somebody, and it's a very, very gruesome, very gory scene. So I mean, but that's the thing, this is a detective story, but there is so many horror elements to this. There's a lot of blood and gore in this. There's if you're a Stephen King fan, you're going to enjoy this because, okay, for one reason, this is a very faithful adaptation of the book. Certain characters that were like minor characters in the book, to fill out 10-hour-long episodes. So some of the characters are expanded. So that's one thing that was added to it. Like a couple of little things were changed, but nothing much. I mean, you can, I think if you're a fan of the book, I think you could watch this and you'd be very happy with the way it turned out. Definitely a lot more happy with this than Under the Dome. I can promise you that much. But yeah, King's writing is really good here. There are so many Stephen King Easter eggs in this. You know, like at one point there's like Brady's driving to work and he's jamming out to you know um, Pet Cemetery by the Ramones on the radio. There are so many like little Stephen King Easter eggs going on in this, so that's kind of fun to spot. But yeah, there is some. But being a detective story, and even it is a TV series, there are some really truly horrific moments going on in this, and yeah, so I highly recommend this. This is really a good series, and I can't wait for season two. And like I said, I think season three may be the last of it. I don't know if that's gonna be something that they may change and try to see if they can keep the series going. But for now, though, it's like this is, don't let the fact that it's a detective story fool you. Okay, this does have some really gruesome, horrific moments in it, and if you are a horror fan, you are going to be pleased by this. So, yeah, I truly recommend this. This is a great series, and like I said, I can't wait to watch season two. I can't wait for that to come out. So, but anyway, though, yeah, that's pretty much about it. Stephen King's Mr. Mercedes season one, and yeah, I highly enjoy it, and I think you would too. And if you're a Stephen King fan, and you know, and like I said, it may be a detective story, but there's definitely horror elements to it. You're gonna enjoy that. So, but anyway, that's it. So yeah, I thank anybody who took the time to watch this video, and I appreciate you for doing it. I hope you like it, and if you do, please like and subscribe on the Body Bags channel. Um, yeah, and please tune in, watch the other videos. We got a lot of great guys doing a lot of great reviews. It's a weekly show, Monday through Sunday, and a different reviewer every day. And yeah, you know, so yeah, this is Cinema77 horror and cult film lover, and I'll be back with another video soon. And you know, hope you enjoyed the video. Take care. Have a good night.